Right, the best class in the school is weight training, and it is offered every quarter, and we have 2 periods where it's offered. Um, well, obviously by the name, we lift weights in that class. So I always tell people, if you don't want to squat or do military or do bench press or do power clean, then don't come in that class. But it's a really good class, and I forgot the other questions.
Welcome incoming freshmen. If you're interested or even thinking about taking speech and debate, there are 2 different ways that you're able to take that with me. So the first way is just the general elective class. If you take the class though, you have no obligation to join the speech and debate team. It is a general elective where for the first half you do learn how to properly give speeches. And then from there, I think a really valuable skill is to learn how to properly debate and argue with somebody. So you do learn the proper structure of debates and having civil debates with people about really important issues that are happening right now. There are no requirements to join other than coming in with an open mindset. That's all I ask.
I am Senora Brown, and I teach Spanish and sometimes French. Spanish 1, they learn the basics of Spanish, and I teach Spanish 1 through 4, so each progressive semester they learn more about Spanish and they speak more in Spanish. I've also taught the French 1, and same thing with French 1, it's basics in French, and then it would go on from there. Normally in Spanish we have homework Monday through Thursday. In the beginning we do a lot of workbook assignments, and the assignments let you practice, I should say, whatever we learned in class. And then as we get further along, there are more in-depth assignments like writing in Spanish and projects, things like that. Spanish, well, Spanish I would recommend anyone interested in language. It is an academic elective, so it's not, we do have fun, we play games, but it's not just that. There is homework 4 nights a week, and we do use all our time for the whole 90 minutes to work and listen and speak in Spanish and etc.
Hi, Mr. Hanford. I'm here to talk to you about study hall. I have a study hall every quarter. It's just a quarter-long class, so at the end of the quarter you get a new study hall or maybe a new elective, depending on whatever you want for your schedule. In study hall, students just work quietly, independently on school. So whatever schoolwork they have, this is their chance to get that done. And so study hall is an opportunity for students to just have a quiet environment and get their schoolwork done so they don't have to do it at home.
Good afternoon, I'm Mr. Seisberger. I teach the beginning sign language class here at Black Union High School. Some of the questions that people have about this class is, what do we learn in this class? So we learn a lot of basic sign, a lot of conversational sign, as well as some specific stuff involving schools and holidays and family life. And then we also learn the history and culture, where sign language came from, why American Sign Language is closer to French Sign Language, not British Sign Language, and just kind of how sign language came to the United States. Another thing that people have questions about with electives is there a class fee for this class? Since most everything we do is either YouTube videos or direct instruction, there is no class fee, so free to you, so you can learn something new. One of the good things with sign language is that it is the 3rd most spoken, utilized language in the United States, that there's actually a large deaf community down in the Littleton area currently, that there's the Rocky Mountain School of Deaf that sits right at Kipling and Quincy, kind of across the street from where that federal prison is down there. So it's a large community that you guys should be getting to be able to interact with here in the area. And so that's one of the things students get out of this, just looking down at the questions here. So one of the things students get out of is just knowledge of a language that they can actually use.
Hi, I'm Mr. Gunkel, and the class we're talking about today is athletics. Athletics is a class that is for athletes. You must be in a sport for that time period. So if it's a fall class, you must have a fall sport or a winter sport. And if it's a spring class, you must have a winter sport or spring sport. You can be in the class then. What we do in that class is we work out. Okay? We'll lift weights, we'll do agility drills, we'll do plyometrics, we'll do sprint-based stuff. and it's mainly to build better athletes for our school. The assignments are working out. It's also a time for if coaches want to come in, because it's the 8th period, if coaches want to come in and work with certain athletes before practice, they can come in and do that.
Marching band is the 8th graders through 12th grade at the high school, and we perform at the football games, basketball games, and we create field shows on the football field. So we're not only just playing the rock songs and stuff like that, but we're also marching and making formations on the field for those. And so we're also participating in different community events like the Cowboy Christmas, for example, and for homecoming we marched in the parade. So there's a lot of movement as well as playing your instrument.
Hello, my name is Miss Walsh. I'm the high school art teacher here at Platte Canyon, and I teach ceramics, which is offered at the beginning of the year. It's a quarter-long class, which is roughly about 9 weeks. In that class, you are strictly working with clay, building decorative and functional pieces. You learn how to work with different stages of clay, how to fire and glaze clay from beginning to end. And there is a $25 fee for the clay materials that you use and consume.
So I've been asked to give a brief overview about career success classes. We have what's called career explorations and career success. They sort of tied together. It's good to take the explorations first and then do career success, but it's not a prerequisite. Career success is going a little bit further with learning how to do cover letters, resumes, the correct formatting, how to find jobs that fit your skills. We're also implementing next year a program called U-Science, which will help with the identification of skills for each person. That goes along with the career clusters and helps you find a job that fits your lifestyle, likes, wants, and needs.
Hello, I'm Miss Walsh. I teach creative arts here at the high school, and creative arts in essence is a crafts class where you take simplified projects such as string art, batik, and put them together based on a variety of different guidelines and skills. Everyone works at their own level and their own skill development. It's a quarter-long class, so it's about 9 to 10 weeks. Within that time, we do anywhere between 5 to 6 projects. The types of students that should be taking this elective would be students that want to explore crafts, as well as ones that might want to take more open-leveled electives, so it's not very technical. The projects are a little bit more easy and hands-on.
My name is Rad Carter. I prefer Mr. Carter in the classroom, so they called me Mr. Rad on the bus, and I'm now teaching. So I think it benefit any student learning about finances. The big project that we work on right now is it's called the stock market game, and students take a pretend $100,000 and practice investing in the stock market, and it's actually based off the real stock market exchange. Students that are self-motivated, students that really have interest in going into business and the financial world down the road would be a great benefit to them.
Fitness and conditioning is a class for anybody who's interested in becoming more fit. What we do in that class is we do a lot of aerobic training, which means running, and we do get in the weight room a couple times a week because that's super important as far as your fitness as well. And some days, if you're lucky, if we do things right, we get to play some games, and that's about it.
Well, creative writing is offered once it's just a 9-week course. So it's not a real long class. But what we try to do is give students an opportunity to explore and experiment with their writing. Some students, we write all sorts of different things, from short stories to poems to some different things. Every student, when we finish, gets his or her own creative writing book. That's what everybody published that they put in. So some people have really long stories, some people have something short, I don't know, something you can add pictures, you can do whatever you want to with it. But we do a music section, and a lot of students like the music part, and they get to listen to different music and talk about music that they like and how it kind of comes together. So there are no prerequisites. Well, I think it's, like I said a little bit, it's not your typical, it's not an English class. Right. It's a chance for students to explore and experiment and dig into themselves a little bit and become introspective about what is important to them. Students will write some very personal things, and I just say, hey, fold the sheet, I'm not gonna read it. I'm not digging into your stuff, but students wind up digging into themselves, and they're like, oh, I didn't know I had this layer to me. And that's the exciting part, I think, when the students start to, their light bulb's like, sweet, I can do this, and yeah. So, if you haven't taken it, I would recommend taking it at least once in your high school career. Yeah.
Hey, PCTV is a quarterly class that is about storytelling. And it is a class that, with a visual medium, you become a storyteller. The class is basically doing school news, but also doing stories, sports, and covering all of those aspects.
All right, PE is kind of a mixed class. We will weight train twice a week in that class, and also play a variety of different sports and activities. And who I suggest take it is anybody who's interested in learning how to lift weights, and also just want to have fun and play some games.
Hello, my name is Ms. Walsh, and I'm here today to talk to you about our graphic design program at Platte Canyon High School. It's a newly piloted program. I've only taught it twice this year. It's offered in quarter 1 and quarter 4. It's a combination class where you spend time working like a graphic designer, where you are developing logos, branding, specifically for a mock company. Then towards the end of the quarter, you are exploring real logos for student groups and groups outside of school. There's no prerequisite to this class. It is a beginner level class. There are opportunities built into this class where you're also creating pages for the yearbook here at the high school, and there's no fee.
All right, current events is a class that we offer as an elective. Anybody who's interested in what's actually going on in the world in real time should take this class. We look at a variety of sources, so it's not just one news outlet that we look at. We look at news from around the world, within the United States and Colorado. Again, it varies. Even if you've had a current events class before, you could take it again because there's always something new going on.
I'm Mr. Hanford, and this is STEM. STEM is a class designed for students to go through the engineering design process. STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and math. And it's basically a class where we learn concepts and then you apply them by building things, building projects.